All right, welcome to Cavecast. We've got a special Cavecast. We got some DC movie come out today, and we've got a lovely guest here, Scott DC 27 stopped by.
Welcome.
Yeah,
I can't be here for long, but I thought I'd pop in and say, hey, just got home.
We appreciate you stopping in.
That's right. We know, and just so everybody knows, we try to make it clear on social and everything. This is going to be a spoiler discussion. So,
spoilers.
Yes.
There you go. That's it. Yeah. So basically, what we wanted to do, we all saw the movie here tonight, and we wanted to take some time to sit down, give kind of our initial reactions, and just kind of shoot the bull about what we thought about this movie. So what we usually do, Scott, is we kind of do a around the horn thing at first and just give general thumbs up, thumbs down, and your general thoughts on it. So we'll start with you here tonight. What were your general thoughts on your first screening of The Suicide Squad?
In IMAX.
In IMAX.
Yes.
Yeah. It looked good on IMAX.
Nice.
Guys, I enjoyed the movie. And no one is more shocked about this than I am. I mean, I had a lot of... I was always open to enjoying the movie, but I was going in with a lot of trepidation.
Sure.
I don't have... I kind of have a 50-50 with James Gunn. And the trailers really weren't... 50-50 on trailers. It really depended what trailer you showed me, how I felt about it. But... dude, if I didn't actually have a good time and enjoy myself, like I had a good time at the movies.
That's
and
great.
I don't know yet. I mean, I've got a couple of days. I'm going to watch it again on HBO Max before I do the official DC film Squadcast review.
Sure.
So I don't know how it's going to rank with the other DCEU movies right now. But I'm telling you, it's going to be in the middle, and it's going to be high middle. Like, that's, I mean, I've got what I personally consider the bottom tier. I've got my middle tier, and then I've got my, most fans like me, I've got my top four that everyone knows what their top four is. And no matter what order it's in, what four are usually at the top. Yep. And mine is like I don't know where it's going to land right now, but it's in that middle section after you get past the top four. And I didn't expect that, but I had a good time.
That's awesome, man. That's great.
Yeah.
I know that's the truth for a lot of people kind of going into this one, especially if for folks who are fans of the Snyderverse, everything's like razor's edge right now. So that's good. Man. That's awesome.
I think what I do appreciate about this movie, some people want to have opinions about it because it's specifically James Gunn or just whatever, but it did something different. It was unique. There is nothing about this movie that is cookie cutter, or you could say is trying to be something. It's not trying to be anything else. It is what it is.
Yes, exactly.
And you know what? I appreciated that. And cinematography-wise, Gunn did some things with the camera that I was like, that was cool to watch.
Yes.
Agree.
For sure.
So, overall, general thoughts, I'm going to have fun. I'm really interested what Tim thinks when we go and do our review. I'm like, I have no idea where Tim's going to land on this. But I enjoyed myself, and I'm actually looking forward to watching it again on HBO Max.
Awesome.
Nice.
All right, Alan, what you got?
Oh man, I was actually really. I was Sames. I was a little nervous, but again, to reiterate Scott's point, I was. My top four is Zach, and then Wonder Woman 1, and I might even put the Suicide Squad above Aquaman. Like it was. I was very impressed. I was surprised for sure.
Okay. Brandon, what you got?
Yeah, I mean, overall, I enjoyed it. I was kind of hit or miss with the humor. there were some things that shocked me about it as far as like character deaths that I didn't expect. I expected a lot, but I didn't expect some. But as far as like, basically, as far as DCEU, I definitely enjoyed it much more than like some of the latest offerings that, you know, excluding Zack Snyder's Justice League, of course. But yeah, I mean, I thought it was basically pretty much in line with what I expected. I expected to be a little turned off by some of the jokes, but I also expected to be very well made, and the action set pieces to be really good, and all, you know, stunt choreography, cinematography, all that stuff. It was top notch. So overall, I thought it was pretty good.
And to Brandon's point, I want to reiterate that some of the jokes that really just rubbed me the wrong way in the trailer, luckily they didn't punch as hard in context of the movie. Like the trailer really emphasized some jokes that really bothered me because I didn't think they were funny. And I'm not saying they were funny, but in the course of the movie, it just
bag of penises.
Yeah, that one. No, that one can rot for all I care. But the point is that it just rolled along with the movie. So while it was there, it was just kind of like, okay, unfunny joke, and it wasn't like, oh, I'm offended. You know?
Yeah, they didn't linger. They didn't linger on those jokes. Yeah. That's what I thought too. Yeah.
Ryan, what about you?
I'm still a little like on the fence right now with this movie. It was definitely very well made. I agree with you, Scott. Some of the camera work in this movie was awesome. Very technically sound. Definitely crushes what we saw in the first Suicide Squad on a technical level, in my opinion. But I don't know. It lacked. I really like world building, and this one felt like it lacked world building for me. The humor.
I wonder if it was because of the point that it came out, as far as like maybe they didn't feel like they needed to do a lot of that.
Yeah.
Well, honestly, look at the recent offerings.
Yeah,
they've been very isolated. So this one was isolated. Like, a lot of them have been isolated.
Yeah, it's true. I
also think that whenever they would do these little like small character beats, like backstory character beats, I think the momentum got like lost on me. Like I felt like this movie could have trimmed up. It could have been a little tighter than it was.
Yes,
it felt a lot longer than 2 hours, 12 minutes or whatever it was. Sorry, Ryan, go ahead.
No, I think even, you know, we obviously haven't seen the Ayer cut of Suicide Squad, but what I did appreciate about the first Suicide Squad movie was I loved first off, I have to admit, I love Harley Quinn a lot more when the Joker is involved. It just makes for so much, the dynamics are so different. I love, there's so much to be explored there with seeing how those characters play off each other. But you know, the Gotham scenes with Batman, with Deadshot, like, I don't know, this just felt like such a like bubble movie, you know.
Yeah,
I think that was on purpose.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's probably by design.
Yeah, I think so too.
No doubt. But that's something that, in my opinion, I prefer. Obviously, I love the Snyderverse and what was created there. So I like it's tough for me, and we've talked about this kind of going into this movie. All of these films kind of have, and I hate that they had this, but it's kind of this like stigma, I guess. Like there's like this little, like in the back of my head, this little like bitterness where like I want them to keep doing stuff that's tied into Zack's world, but they're not doing stuff that's tied into Zack's world, but they're using characters that are tied into Zack's world in different ways than they were used originally. And it's just, I don't know. I feel like I'm being pulled in a lot of different directions with this movie. And Zack Snyder's Justice League aside, I don't really count that in terms of like recent DC movies. I just feel like it's been such a long time that I like watched a DC movie and I was like, oh, I want to rewatch that right now. Like, other than Zack Snyder's Justice League, like Birds of Prey was the same way for me. Wonder Woman 84 obviously was the same way for me. This movie kind of feels the same way for me. Even Aquaman was kind of that way for me, and that movie's grown on me a little bit more over the years. But yeah, I don't know. It's weird. That's why I feel like I'm kind of like still on the fence with this one a little bit. I'm like in the middle there.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I kind of felt this one. I do have the same sentiment in terms of some of the recent offerings. Not really feeling the need to rewatch, but this one actually, I am excited to give it a rewatch because I think I can just kind of gloss over some of the humor landed for me, like Captain Boomerang. You know,
Ratcatcher not Ratcatcher. Weasel at the beginning was great.
That stuff. Yeah. I think Boomerang had to me the best line was when I can't remember who said, it's like, your name's Letters, and he's like, all names are letters, dickhead, or whatever he says. It's like that was one of the best lines to me.
I made a note of that line specifically.
Yeah. That one got an audible laugh, and my wife looked at me, and she was so embarrassed that I laughed at it.
You know what? There was some stuff with Polka Dot Man. I got a lot of chuckles with.
He was great. The stuff with his mom was great.
The mom stuff, that was something that just made me. No, that was me. But you know who got a lot of laughs out of me? Idris Elba as Bloodsport was like hands down. He was. Yeah. I mean, I love Idris Elba anyway. Like, I've loved him like with Luther all the way back on the BBC. So but I mean, just him being the straight man was just for fun. You know, like just the sheer exhaustion of this. I enjoyed myself.
When he and Peacemaker were having that back and forth, they're trying to one up each other, and Peacemaker does the like jerk off motion, and he goes and just like kind of like acts like he like dodges it a little bit. Like it was such a subtle little thing, but it was so funny.
Yeah, it really was. Yeah.
You know what? That was the thing, is that Peacemaker always had the terrible jokes in the trailers that I never liked, and still didn't like them in the movie. But once again, they didn't drag the movie down for me. Like, you know, this isn't a Guardians 2 situation where it was just like, oh my God, can we stop with. You know, while jokes didn't land for me every time, this also didn't feel like jokes were being given at inappropriate times. Like
this movie was not nearly as funny as I thought it was going to be.
I agree.
There was not nearly as much humor as I thought.
There wasn't as much. I had this fear that there was going to be a lot of this like try hard humor, you know. And it didn't really come across at all.
It really did. That didn't mean that every joke was funny to me, and not every joke has to be funny. But at least, honestly, the stuff that I went in going, like, if I'm talking about what were the major things sticking in the back of my head, going, this, oh God, please don't do this, please don't do this. It didn't do those things,
right?
And I said, it took some chances that I was just like. You did that. Okay.
This movie is also definitely a hard R.
It's an R, man. It is an R.
Yeah. It definitely embraced that much more so than like Birds of Prey just felt like, okay, we got a few F-bombs, but why is this rated R? Like it just didn't make any sense for it to be rated R. But this one embraced that for sure.
Well, I also feel like you can tell Gunn was allowed to go off and do whatever. I think that, you know, I go back and look at the more recent offerings, and either the movies did a thing and I didn't care for that thing. And, you know, and that's the thing, if you're going to be all about, if you're going to talk about movies being allowed for directors to do whatever they want, what you're going to end up with is movies that don't appeal to everyone. And, like, Aquaman does not appeal to me.
Yeah.
And after I finally did my Fast and Furious marathon, and I finally saw saw Furious 7, and I was like, I can tell this is James Wan because I can look at that and I can look at Aquaman and I can see how these two connect. I don't like this. So like, but James Wan was doing James Wan's blockbuster thing. He has this horror thing and he has this blockbuster thing. And Aquaman was like a Fast and Furious style. I didn't like it. It's why Aquaman is really low on my list, especially compared to other people. Like, I think people get shocked how low Aquaman is on my list because it doesn't appeal to me.
Right.
Sure.
Birds of Prey, I enjoyed, but the more time I watch it, the more I can see how Kathy Yan got screwed with. Because you can see it in the movie, how that movie wasn't what it was originally shot to be.
Tim just tweeted, I saw the Suicide Squad. That's all he said.
This is probably going to be an interesting review.
Those are the best ones.
Actually, they really are because it gives us something to really talk about. Yeah. But sometimes he also likes to tweet things cryptically just because he wants to save opinions for the actual review. But no, I was watching this movie going, I'm really curious where Tim's going to land on this one.
I can't wait to listen to that one.
It's going to be fun, man. Because we are going to try to record on Saturday during the day so that it gave us time to watch it, both of us to watch it twice. Because we're both people who agree that sometimes a movie that doesn't land with us the first time lands with us the second time. Not David Ayer Suicide Squad, but Trailer Park Suicide Squad. I was a lot kinder to it after my second viewing than I was my first viewing.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I mean, that's often what happens with me as well. Once I see, okay, you're in the moment of watching a movie, you're like actively deciding, I like this, I don't like this. You're managing expectations. Second viewing, you just go into it knowing and just accept it for what it is and enjoy it or dislike it for what it is. So it can go either way, but usually it's better for me.
Okay, I'm going to have to bounce, but there is one thing I want to ask, and this is super spoily because it's the final end credit scene.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to be honest. I had a really hard time. Was that Peacemaker or was that Flag in the bed?
It was Peacemaker.
Peacemaker.
It was Peacemaker.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was my thing. I was going to mention was, man, okay, so Peacemaker is going to be a prequel show, and then I was like, okay, well, never mind. There he is.
I was super bummed out when when I was like, oh, so we're getting a prequel show.
That's
we
what
see where he ends up.
Man, I was hoping. God, I was so bummed whenever they killed off Boomerang. Like I
kind of saw that.
That hurt my heart, dude.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie,
but like,
God, that was awful. Oh,
go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I was just saying, I just love him as Boomerang, so I was just had to see him go.
Me too.
Yeah, they pretty much dispatched of all the old squad except for Harley, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's what I was going to say. There was, what our fears for the Flash movie. I feel like we just kind of watched a lot of that take place in the Suicide Squad version. They eliminated so many of the originals. Like son of a, that was it.
The one thing that didn't happen that I wanted to happen was after what happened with Waller and her support staff. I really wanted some people to die. Because I'm thinking about like what she did in the first movie, where it's like, basically everyone who knew what happened. I was just like, oh, come on, you're not going to tell me some of those people aren't like in an unmarked grave somewhere.
Right. Yeah, no doubt. Got whacked with a golf club. I mean, that's an offense there.
Leading up to that moment may have been the most Waller of
the most Waller.
Oh my God. I was writing it down when she got hit with the golf club. I was writing down how awesome that scene was. I was like, well, hell. That was it.
She's just perfect for that.
God. I was like, this is the beauty of it being an R-rated movie was okay. my final thoughts before I peace out is
final.
beauty of it being an R-rated movie is that I felt like certain characters were finally allowed to behave the way I would expect, nay, want them to behave.
Yeah.
I want Waller to be that GD ruthless.
Yeah.
I would want that. The Suicide Squad is made up of supervillains.
Yeah.
You know,
You can't be mishy-mashy with supervillains. You gotta lay down the hammer.
so the stuff that this movie was allowed to do with a hard R.
Yeah.
I think that's part of my enjoyment of it is wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
It went
imagine
there.
it's similar to what Ayer would have done if he was given the opportunity in terms of tone, like as far as, but he just, that's the unfair thing about it is like, they'll compare this to, the theatrical version of Ayer's cut. And it's, it's a disservice because I'm sure that he would have wanted to make an R-rated Suicide Squad movie, but just, it wasn't in the cards. So, but yeah, I agree with you for sure.
Okay, guys.
Well, look,
I'm gonna
Scott,
peace
thanks so
out.
much for jumping on, man. We appreciate it.
You want to plug anything?
Yeah,
before
plug
you
the
jet?
show. Let us know when the episode's coming.
Okay, so of course you can find me on Twitter at ScottDC27, and you can find our review with whatever Tim's thoughts are, which are going to be interesting, on the DC Film Squadcast, probably dropping maybe Saturday night, probably Sunday, but depends on when we can get recording and when Tim can do some producing. But definitely by the end of the weekend, we'll have our review out.
Nice.
Awesome, man.
At
Well, thanks again for jumping on.
squadcastmedia.com.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it, brother.
Thanks, dude.
Bye.
Take care.
And yeah, everybody listening, if you do not listen to DC Film Squadcast, do it. It's arguably the best one out there. So
They're the OGs.
definitely give them a listen. Yep. For sure.
Yep.
Well, gents, we were kind of talking about Idris Elba. Were there any other performances that particularly stood out to you or characters that you really liked in this movie?
Alan, you go ahead, Mr. Spoiler Head.
Okay.
Sorry, I don't have one. I don't have a spoiler. I don't have a graphic that doesn't cover. If we have three people, it's like
I don't know what I'm
spoilers.
doing.
Just Alan is dishing out spoilers tonight.
Well, my thoughts on
yeah, there you go.
we there we go.
Yeah.
I'll just sit like this. I'll get scoliosis through the episode. But
Look
no,
at that. For a second, David Ayer was sitting in the stream. Love it.
I don't guess I'm gonna live that one down.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of like, yes, I did like Harley with the Joker, but for me, this was more Harley than we've seen, with the exception of the theatrical Suicide Squad.
Mhm.
I mean, as far as Birds of Prey, that was trash. And
I think
but this
for
was
me-
she did really good in this. I
I agree that in a
Yeah.
in a solo capacity, she was great in this one. It reminded me a lot of the animated flicks.
Yes.
Actually, Apocalypse, the last one, where she like her smashing the head of the dude with the hammer on the ground, like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think what I lack with what's really compelling about Harley Quinn's character for me is just like the psychological, like the twistedness of her and the Joker, and I want to see that play out more. You saw it for a little bit, like for a moment when she was with that talking over the dead body of the dictator,
El Presidente.
She was kind of like her eyes are like glassing up, and she's like,
she said,
kind of talking to herself, like that kind of thing. That's really compelling to me, and I would like to see more of that in a movie. Maybe that's something that we'll get one day out of David Ayer's cut if it comes out. But yeah. No, I agree. She was great in this.
Yeah, she was. And honest to God, I thought that he would be just another Groot, but liked King Shark. I thought he was good. I thought that moment, I actually paused the movie and went and got Cal. I was like, Cal, come and check this out. His little moment in the aquarium, you know, like it was so innocent, you know. I went and got it. That was like legit the only freaking part of the movie I could let Cal watch.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I did. I actually really liked King Shark. I wasn't sure. I didn't know what was going. I thought it'd be another Groot, but he wasn't. He had a little more depth, I thought.
I agree with this comment. She was a lot better than in Birds of Prey.
Yes.
That
also
that sequence,
costume design in this was amazing for her. She was it was great.
It's really good. Yeah. Her big like oneer type sequence that they did in the palace, I guess, was great. Like I think, I mean, in comparison to like the prison sequence in Birds of Prey, which was probably the highlight of that movie for me. This was just on a different level as far as execution and seeing it through her mind, and having all the flowers and the birds and all that stuff.
It was like Wachowski brothers like level. I liked that scene with her walking through the hallway, gunning people down. It was awesome. It was. But I mean, you can't even put Birds of Prey in the conversation with what she was in this movie. Like it was. Right. Thank God that we got this movie, because Birds of Prey ruined her. Like I was not ready to see her again.
Yeah.
Brandon,
characters stand out. Or performances.
Polka Dot Man. Honestly, I really enjoyed Polka Dot Man. I thought he was awesome. And I know Scott didn't like it, but I loved the mom thing. I thought the mom thing was the most bizarre. Like, it took me a while to realize what was even going on, because when he's dancing in the club and then it starts showing the moms around him dancing, I was just focused on him dancing. And then I was like, oh, wait, his moms are around him. And then that made it just like that much more funnier.
I was very on the fence about the mom thing until at the end. I loved when Bloodsport was just like, that's your mom.
Yeah. I'm a superhero.
That was, I mean, that's what James Gunn he really balanced the funny and the heart at the same time. And I think it was because of the R. I don't know if he could. That's the thing that kind of lacked with like Guardians 2 was it focused more on the funny, and there wasn't nearly as much that hit with the heart. But with the R, you had more opportunities, I guess, and I don't know that I don't think that Polka Dot Man would have been nearly as good had it not been R rated. I don't think so. And even though I don't think he cussed until the very end before he got smashed. That was the only cuss word he said in the whole freaking movie.
It allowed his superpower to actually be, have some stuff as far as like it being like an actual threat. Because if you couldn't have had it slicing through people and just dismembering them, what would you have done? And that's the thing. That's the thing about the rat catcher stuff that turned me off, was like, so the rats just like knock them down and then they're done. Like, I don't know. That didn't. I didn't really buy that.
Yeah.
I was hoping it was going to be a lot more like gory, and but it was just like, just knock them down. They're heavy.
Yeah. I will say though, she was kind of a standout for me performance wise.
Yeah.
I was not expecting her to.
And there was your Taika Waititi cameo that we were wondering. Where
that's what I was way off on the Starro thing for sure.
Milton was definitely crucial for the film.
Oh, Milton. Yep. R.I.P. Milton.
Yeah.
But I actually.
What do you guys think about Peacemaker? So we have a Peacemaker show coming up.
He was the least of all the characters. He was the least interesting or funny or compelling to me, like of all of them.
I have to agree.
Yeah,
I'm not super stoked about that spinoff,
but I'm not like turned off by it either. You know what I mean? Like it was one of those. Yeah. It may have been one of John Cena's better acting performances. You know what I mean? Because he's just not that great an actor. So, like,
I don't know.
I'm not.
for sure.
I'm not. It didn't sway me one way or the other for Peacemaker.
John
because-
Cena is about to show up at your house and beat you up.
It's
That's what's going to
okay.
happen.
It's okay. If that happened, I swear we would live stream that as well. There we go.
Be great for our numbers.
There we go. I would sacrifice my
Alan
body
gets
for
his
the
ass
numbers.
beat
There we
by
go.
John Cena.
Somebody hashtag him in that. Let's get this going.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, he didn't do much for me.
Yep.
The only thing that I really enjoyed with him again was that back and forth between him and Bloodsport, especially when the highlight for Peacemaker for me was when he like walks by that like person laying down and it's just like tat 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 tat, like walking by them and like takes them out.
Yeah,
That was pretty
Katie
funny.
actually laughed at that. I was like, "Wow, that's kind of a
Yeah.
dark thing for you to laugh at."
Yeah.
Or the lady washing the dishes, and he just popped her. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like,
That was
Just
a
innocent.
great end to that scene where they killed like all of the rebels.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. See, Ryan, you enjoyed this movie. You're gonna return to
This
it.
is good. This is
There we
this
go.
is-
It's kind of
this is,
cathartic. There you go.
yeah,
Get it
there
out.
you
Get
go.
it out.
I just need to again. I said I need to process this one.
Yeah.
I actually
Yeah,
want to
I-
just sit and watch it. Like I
I did
said, I
feel
took
like-
I took 3 pages of notes here, like while I was
Yeah.
watching it
I took
for an
0
initial
notes.
reaction.
Did y'all have any like any deaths that were surprising or any moments that you know?
I was not
caught
expecting
you
Boomerang
off guard?
to die, like you said earlier.
Yes,
Um,
Boomerang
Mhm.
like hurt my heart. Like I was really hoping for him to show up in the
I
Flash
loved-
or in a Flash movie at some point.
You got him in the post-credit sequence of Suicide Squad. I think it was
Yeah.
post-credits. No,
It was the
in middle of
intro.
it.
That was that music video at the beginning that they had.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
Yeah.
I really love that whole sequence. Actually, that like storming the beach and then kind of the misdirect with
Weasel
the second
drowning.
team. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the second team coming in from a completely different side of the island or whatever, I thought that was a cool way to introduce.
Yeah,
For a second,
realizing-
when everybody was dying, I thought that what is it? Is it Vanguard? Is that Rooker's character? What is his
It was
No,
Savant.
Savant.
Savant? Okay, I don't know characters. Rooker, I didn't know what his power was. I thought that he was going to be like turning back time or something, and that the deaths were going to be reversed. I was hoping at least just for the boomerang element, but sadly,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
That one hurt. And I do like that they added him in like in a daylight sequence in the trailers just to throw it off a little bit that Rooker wasn't going to die that early in the movie. So that was neat. I did like that. I did like the misdirection in the trailers. But yeah, I actually like was going like line by line, you know, the deaths. And I was like, oh my God, Pete Davidson died that quick. You know, like I was like,
What,
I was
What do you guys
kinda-
think of?
what,
What do you guys think of
when Pete-
Nathan Fillion's hot?
when
Toy?
Pete Davidson, what's that?
What do you think about hot
What'd you
toy
say, Ryan?
version of Nathan Fillion?
This is little peg arms. When Pete Davidson died, yeah, that was okay, fine. Now, when Pete Davidson died, I was basically like,
I'm glad you did. I'm glad you did.
I mean,
It's so
honest to God,
long.
though, it was the
You gotta
most
let it play out.
telegraphed.
You got
It was.
to.
It was.
Nani
yeah.
G's in the house. All right, Nani, what'd you
Hey.
think?
Nani,
What'd you think? Tell us what you think.
CiNEMAChiNE.
let us know. We're all on pins and needles.
That's right.
But yeah, I mean, Pete
Hashtag
David,
Cinemama.
Pete's death was the most telegraphed out of the movie. That was the one that I mean, when he's walking up, I was like, yeah, he's
Yeah.
done. Like he's dying right now, you know. But
Yeah.
nobody else, you know. I was well, yeah. I wasn't
Javelin.
expecting anybody else. Javelin, I wasn't. I just was kind of meh, you know. And his death ended up being
I
a
was
big part of the freaking movie, you know. Like
yeah. Nice. I was actually hoping that he was going to be in it more because he's so freaking funny.
Yeah,
Javelin.
his accent alone makes everything hilarious.
Right.
So-
or attractive. I just bumped my chair down a little bit so I don't.
There you go.
There
I
you
saw
go.
that.
In the
I saw that. Yeah. Well.
I wish. I honestly wish they would have left Weasel dead. I was kind of bummed when they did the beach scene at the end. I just thought it was so great. No one looked up. This thing can't swim.
Yeah. Well, I had a feeling that he was coming back because, I was looking for like a visual cue on the monitors of like his like face being like red or something because they know they have like that tracker or whatever that has their vitals.
Mm-hmm.
And so they didn't have anything that indicated that he was dead when is it Rooker
gotcha.
Savant? Is that what you said? When he announced that he was dead. But so I figured that maybe he would be coming back, but I figured he'd be coming back in a bigger capacity, but not just to end credits.
I agree. Mask of Shy.
So like Bloodsport had his.
Sames.
I mean, I guess we're just kind of going all over the place with the movie here, but like Bloodsport had his Captain America moment from the first Avengers where he's giving everybody their marching orders, and instead of a Hulk smash, it was, King Shark Num Num, and that was it. That was one of my least favorite signs. But
we can all agree that Bloodsport was supposed to be Deadshot, and they just changed the name because
for sure.
I mean,
for sure,
there's nothing different as far as this character is concerned.
The father-daughter thing too, that actually kind of was a miss for me. I don't know. It didn't feel...
I guess, honest to God, though,
wait till November, Ryan.
Well, it worked in the first Suicide Squad.
I like Bloodsport better. I mean, if I'm being honest,
Ryan's having a baby in November. That's why I bring that up for people that are curious.
I like
and
Bloodsport
he's having
better.
a little girl too.
Oh wait.
So
wait.
I don't know. I thought their back and forth was pretty great. Personally, it felt lived in their relationship.
Attack on the Rebel Camp was the funniest part. That was great. I'd still love
when
they killed all the...
for sure.
But I didn't see anybody. Like I didn't see anybody. King Shark burps up a finger. Okay.
Good times. What else? Or what else?
We have it in the notes here, basically we were going to ask if we felt like this is going to have any impact on whatever the DCEU is, or whether this is a standalone. Kind of seems pretty self-explanatory that it's kind of its own thing.
I think. I don't know about narratively, but I feel like going forward, depending on, it seems like this is going to be pretty successful for Warner Brothers financially. And that's going to end up making them mine more movies like this, whether it's from Gunn or people that are going to try and, kind of ape this style. Because that's just that's what they'll do. That's what other studios will do. I mean, as far as it's standalone. I don't think it has any grand, what is the DCEU anyway? It's a mystery.
It's an interesting question that Nani posed. I don't know if you guys noticed this at all, but it's something I'll have to pay attention to in the second viewing. Did you notice?
Yeah, I don't know.
King Shark looking larger or smaller? Something that could easily happen.
I don't know. I know that they had Steve Agee. I don't know how you say the guy that was he also played the Waller's right hand man or whatever. I
think he's going to be a big part in Peacemaker.
He was the stand-in for King Shark, and they had this big rig that had his eye line on there. So I would imagine that it should be consistent, but you never know.
Well,
it's not something that jumped out at me.
There are scenes in there too where it is all CG, also, like the non-close-up stuff.
It is all CG, Ryan. He's not real. He wasn't
Well, I
really on
mean-
set.
I mean, no actor doing mocap.
Oh,
Brandon.
I got you. I just making sure we
this-
were we were on the same
would-
page because
I
I
would
didn't want you to think that there's
Is
a real
King Shark real?
man walking around the streets.
Street sharks.
What was it that what was
Reaction
it that
reviews.
Peacemaker called him?
Verdict is in.
What was it?
What's up?
Megaladouche. He called him Megaladouche at one
Megaladouche?
point.
Oh,
Yeah.
does he say that?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
When he tried to eat Ratcatcher 2, he said, "What are we going to do about Megaladouche?" I actually made a note of that. I was like, "Man, that's awesome."
He also
That joke was for you,
also
Alan.
was not a big
Yes, it
Peacemaker
was.
fan.
I am a child, and it's okay.
I wonder where they're going to go with this Peacemaker show.
I don't know. I just what the angle. It seemed like they're teeing up some. They
Like
said
the
he's got to save the
flag-
world. So as far as
Flag's
like
last
But it
line to him, maybe where he said Peacemaker, what a joke. Like maybe it's a redemption type thing. I don't know.
yeah,
I can
one
see him
hurt
doing
too.
that.
That one hurt too. Like Captain Boomerang, the Rick Flag death. That one.
That was one
one,
issue I
hated that.
had with this movie was Rick Flag in general. I felt like I don't know. I like him as more of like the buttoned up soldier type than like he was just like one of the boys. In this
Yeah,
one
well,
to me.
for me,
like-
it felt like he had been on so many missions at that point with Harley and Captain
Yeah.
Boomerang that he was more or less one of the team. I
Yeah.
mean, hell, Waller made him a freaking decoy at the beginning of the movie. Like that was that kind of cemented his spot on the team for me right there. Like I was like, she was willing to let him go to cover up this secret,
Yeah.
So there were so many layers, like Shrek said, layers, onions. There were so many layers to this.
Donkey
story.
said that.
Donkey.
Right?
No, Shrek said onions. Donkey said
Yeah, you're
parfait.
right. Shrek did say layers.
No,
Get out of here, Brett.
no, I didn't know
Donkey.
parfait. There we go.
Donkey said cake. Cakes have layers. Everybody loves cake.
You ain't never heard anybody say, "Hell no, I don't like no parfait."
I kind of agree with you as far as the Rick Flag thing goes, as far as him being a little different than he was in the previous installment. And I wonder if it's because, it's because James Gunn's writing this and you kind of feel James Gunn's voice in all these characters for the most part.
Yeah.
And maybe because he used Bloodsport as the straight man, he needed, he couldn't have two straight men or it'd just be like, it'd be a little dull. So you had to try and liven one of those up.
It just
Possibly.
it kind of pulled the carpet out from under, like his line at the end with the where he pulls the hard drive out and he was like, I defended my country. Like, I don't know, it just fell a little flat for me considering he just seemed to be working in such gray areas the whole movie. Like they're just like mowing down people in the woods, and I don't know. It just didn't hit as hard because I just felt like it was he was saying one thing and kind of acting a different way.
Yeah, I can see that. I'm not saying that you're wrong.
Not asked in the chat if people are looking forward to the Peacemaker show, and it looks like a resounding no.
This movie didn't sway me one way or the other. Like I wasn't like crazy about the Peacemaker show to begin with. So I mean it's still in the same spot for me. I really don't know. Like I will give it a shot because it's a DC show. Like I watch every one of them. So it's just the way it is.
Yeah.
When you name your kid LL, you're gonna watch all the freaking shows. That's the way it's gonna be.
That's just the way it is.
Some things will never change.
Sure.
Sorry.
That's okay. Did you just highlight your own comment?
I was typing something and then I hit enter and something clicked at the same time.
Yeah, what did you say?
Highlighting stuff that we're saying. So now that we've seen this guy, what we saw earlier in the week, we haven't really had a chance to talk about this. All of the Variety reporter at the Suicide Squad premiere asking everybody in the cast essentially what their thoughts on the Ayer cut and releasing the Ayer cut was. Are you guys feeling like this is something that's gonna happen eventually, or or is Ansarnoff laying down the hammer and this thing is dead?
I don't know. I just don't know.
You go
really.
ahead.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like if there's enough social media and public
We
support
definitely need it,
for
Nani.
maybe, but I don't know. I mean, I just don't know. I hope we do, but I don't know if they want to continue giving traction to what happened with the Snyder Cut, with Zack Snyder's Justice League, to where they're undermining, they're basically eroding their own universe when they allowed these director's cuts to continue coming out after they are the ones that cause these issues. So I don't know. I just don't know.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. I just don't see the current regime doing it because they didn't even want the Snyder Cut to come out after Greenblatt and all those guys had greenlit it. So Greenblatt, greenlit. How about that?
Hey.
I think it's going to be one of those time things if it comes out. I don't think, like I said, maybe the Discovery merger could shake up things, and if there's money to be made, then I could see it happening. But right now, their stance on it seems to be pretty concrete. So, I'm not feeling super confident, but obviously I want to see it because I still stand by that Comic-Con trailer that came out initially for that movie was the tone that I was super stoked about seeing that was not delivered upon, unfortunately, because we all know what happened.
Yeah.
And what's crazy about this is Ayer was the first victim of this. It wasn't Snyder. Snyder became prey of all this studio manipulation later on, but Ayer got the first big, the blunt of that. And so he gets a little overshadowed because of, we all know how the Snyder thing played out. But Ayer played ball is the difference. And so just, he took his lashings, and he was a good soldier, and he still is.
Yeah.
Until he just kind of had his last little hurrah and said his piece about it. Was it last week?
Yeah, and he had I think Gunn gave him.
Well, it was you. What did you say, David?
Yeah. Alan?
Well,
Alan.
I'm gonna respect what James has done, and I'm gonna let the DCEU move forward. That's what I'm gonna do.
I'm so glad he didn't say F Marvel in our show.
Yeah.
Don't need that.
Well,
don't need that again.
If I weren't worried about the other Al, bringing the hammer down on me, I might would have. But I don't want to get banned.
Don't be scared of him.
He's all bark, no bite.
He has no power here. This is Cape Cast.
He has no power here.
All right, gents. Anything else you want to touch on?
Talked about I mean, like I said, I'm excited to watch it again, and that's the honest truth. And I honestly didn't feel like I was gonna be saying that. Just judging by the trailers. So I mean, I think and hope it's going to grow on me because there's a lot to enjoy with it.
Yeah.
So, but you guys, final thoughts?
Same. I didn't know if I'd enjoy this movie or not because I was kind of bumping the whole Ayer cut, and I still am. So I wasn't sure, but
It's also one of those things where, like Ryan was saying, as far as being kind of like torn with these movies, it's like we want, at the end of the day, we want to see a good movie, but we also want the things that we kind of rallied for in terms of the type of content that we like and enjoy with.
Also,
and so
that's been
we also
built up in 5 movies, like
right.
You know, it's not just like wanting something; it's just something that has been like built extensively.
Yeah, like I said, it's I went into it not sure what was going to happen and ended up walking out. It's besides Zach's 3 and the original, the Wonder Woman 1, it's right there. It's this movie. I would not mind James Gunn doing another.
I'm sure James Gunn is going to be back for more for more DC stuff after this.
Especially if they
said as much.
If they give him,
who is Brendan Hunt? Because we
no idea.
Apparently, you're doppelgangers for everybody.
Son of a gun! Somebody Google it. Let me know who that is.
Brendan Hunt.
I've also heard Andy Roddick, the tennis player. Andy Roddick is another one that I've heard that I look like as well. So I don't even know anymore. I look like whoever. It's apparently I can double for a lot of people. Chris, you got some competition.
Yeah. But, are you the double that got the Hawkeye role?
Yeah, there we go. But no, I would not mind seeing James Gunn do another DC movie if he's given free reign again. Now, if there is some interference along the way, it might change. But if he can do it, hey. And now I like froze and can't even say my own voice. So there we go.
Yeah. I want to like sit on this one. I will say, like I said at the beginning, very well made movie, like technically. And I think just because of that, it's going to age well for me. Because there was really nothing in this movie where I was pulled out of it. There's a lot of cool creative camera work, lens work. I need to be able to view this thing for what it is. This kind of bottle movie.
We should do when we have the next Cape Cast, and we do a little bit. Maybe if we do a more deep dive, or we should at least do a at the moment ranking of the DCEU movies.
Give me a couple weeks so I can marinate on it. But I agree. Maybe we'll do that.
Yeah, it's right. Sounds good.
Oh my God. Okay, so
Tuesday show.
Brendan Hunt is on the Ted Lasso show. That's my favorite show on the planet.
Oh my gosh.
Who is that? Why do I not know this? Who does he play on Ted Lasso? I gotta know now. I can't get off of here until I know.
Ted Lasso.
I can't help you there, Alan.
Son of a gun! It really is. Honestly, I'm watching Atlanta United soccer right now just because of Ted Lasso.
Oh my goodness!
For real. And
I want to see Ted Lasso, but I've tried soccer so many times, and
it'll change your mind, dude. It'll change your mind.
I can't get behind a sport you can end in a tie-in. I can't do it. Can't do it.
I can't get behind a sport.
There we go. All right.
See you later, George. Thanks for stopping by, man.
George.
Yeah, thanks, man. All right, gents.
Coach Beard. Oh my God, that's my wife's favorite character on the show. No wonder. That makes sense now.
It all connects.
All right, gents.
Ryan, you want to tell them where they can find us?
I want you to do me a favor. I want you to tell all your friends about me.
What are you?
I'm
nicely done, Brandon. Nicely done. How long you been waiting to pull that one out?
I did it this week and didn't tell you guys about it. Had to learn some Premiere. Had to learn some masking
Looks
effects
like you did
in
some
Premiere.
keyframing and stuff there. Yeah,
I did.
Good job. Nice.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Premiere is not an
yeah.
intuitive program. I'm just going to say that.
It's
ain't.
not, but once you get used to it, it gets a lot easier really quickly. I will say that. Yeah. So definitely hit the subscribe button here on YouTube and notification bell so you can stay up to date on all our content that we're putting out. We have a weekly show that we do Tuesdays at 9, where we kind of talk about this kind of stuff and any news or trailers or what we're watching.
Which we're going to have a lot of because we'll have missed 2 weeks.
That's
at
right.
this point.
It'll be a big ol' episode next week. And definitely give us a follow on Twitter at CapeCast Show. We're always talking this stuff there as well. And we have a Patreon, patreon.com/CiNEMACHiNE Pod. And we appreciate any support that we get there. So, gentlemen,
yes, we do.
Without further ado, I will see y'all next week.
Yeah. Thanks all. Appreciate it.